Chapter 3, 1945 to 1955. It was an explosive start as atomic bombs helped put an emphatic end to World War II, ushering in a new dynamic to power politics. As the world began to rebuild after global conflict, so too did communities across America. In Alvin, rebuilding came not in bricks alone, but in people, places, and purpose. The decade following 1945 brought new growth to Alvin ISD as rural communities saw the value of uniting their futures through education. In 1947, Mustang School consolidated into the district. Then, in the mid-1950s, Liverpool and Chocolate Bayou joined as well, after being initially annexed into Angleton ISD. They'd bring in new students, families, and traditions into the district. The need for sustained growth led to bonds being called, and the community answered that call at the polls. The need for more classrooms and better facilities led to Memorial Stadium being planned in 1946 and opening in 1948. The call for higher education was also answered by implementing a 14-grade plan and the building of a junior college on the campus of Alvin High School. Meanwhile, Iowa Colony and Manville formed their own partnership. Under the steady guidance of Superintendent E.C. Mason, students in this region attended 1st through 8th grade locally. In 1949, a young teacher named Bobby Case stepped into her first classroom. It would be the beginning of a teaching career that spanned more than 3 decades and left a permanent mark on the children of Alvin.
Had 6 principals. The first principal was Mr. Thomas Smith. He was Alvin Elementary and Alvin Primary. There were only 5 5th grade teachers, 100 on the whole faculty.
For generations, she taught, inspired, and shaped lives. So it's only fitting that a school now bears her name, Hood Case Elementary. In 1954, Bob Nelson walked the stage as a proud Alvin High School graduate. He would go on to become Alvin's most trusted pharmacist, a fixture in the town's heartbeat. His wife Betty would dedicate her own life to teaching in Alvin ISD. Together, they didn't just raise a family, they nurtured a community.
She would have a whole thing full of books that's the grade, and then she said those teachers grade their papers during school. I said, I don't do that. I'm there to teach. And she said, I teach from 8 o'clock to 3:30.
Today, their legacy lives on at Nelson Elementary, a school named in their honor, reminding every student who walks through the doors that this district was built on care and consistency. And in a poetic twist of history, their daughter-in-law would become the district's first woman superintendent, Carol Nelson. As the district is in its 100th anniversary, it is she who now leads the very school system her in-laws helped shape, carrying forward the legacy they began decades ago. Between 1945 and 1955, we went from World War to the Cold War, with the threat of atomic annihilation rising. In 1952, schools started having their students practice duck and cover to prepare for a possible attack. The Korean War would be a conflict that lasted 3 years, beginning in 1950, and would have its impact locally. In sports, we would see Jackie Robinson break the color barrier on April 15, 1947, when he played for the Brooklyn Dodgers, ending segregation in Major League Baseball. Rocky Marciano would dominate boxing, becoming the only heavyweight champion to retire undefeated, a perfect 49-0. Roger Bannister became the first man to break the 4-minute mile. Elvis Presley would release his first hit in 1954 with That's All Right. James Dean would dazzle audiences in East of Eden and Rebel Without a Cause before dying in a car crash in September of 1955. And 3D glasses were becoming the rage at movie theaters in the 1950s as well. During all this time, the vision of Alvin ISD was coming into focus. As it became more than a collection of schools, it became a collection of stories, of teachers who dedicated their lives, of families who built their futures here, of small communities who chose to join hands in the name of education.